Breast cancer remains one of the top medical concerns for Canadian women. Although it has come very far in research, support, and treatments, women living with metastatic breast cancer often feel isolated and removed from the greater breast cancer community.
I remember saying to my doctor, "Do whatever you need to do to cure me." And he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, I can't cure you." And I remember just feeling like the world was caving in and my ears were ringing and I thought I was going to faint, and I could not believe that I was being told that I was not going to be cured.
It was quite a shock, and I knew I was never going to be rid of this ever in my life. So it's a big adjustment to know that you're going to live with this day in and day out for the rest of your life, in and out of treatment forever.
I wasn't expecting it. I was feeling well, and it had been 4 years since my diagnosis of early stage breast cancer. I was terrified of leaving my children without their mother.
This year, a staggering 24,600 Canadians will receive the news that they have breast cancer. Each day in Canada, more than 3 women will receive their first breast cancer diagnosis of locally advanced or metastatic disease. Metastatic breast cancer, referred to as stage 4 breast cancer, is the most serious form of the disease and is typically diagnosed once the cancer has spread to other parts of the body, most commonly the bones, lungs, liver, and brain. We asked 3 Canadian women living with metastatic breast cancer to share their living legacy, advice for others living with the disease, and important messages for Canadians to hear about a rarely discussed stage of breast cancer. These women share the message that they are much more than their diagnosis.
Having a stage 4 cancer diagnosis does not define who I am. I am so much more than a woman with stage 4 cancer. I will not allow this diagnosis to define me. I have so much more to me than that, and I will not allow it to define my family. I think it's important for women who've received a diagnosis of stage 4 breast cancer to know that it is not necessarily an automatic death sentence, that they can still lead a good life, and that there is still quality of life ahead of them.
1 in 9 Canadian women is expected to develop breast cancer during her lifetime, and 1 in 29 will die from it. The median survival after a metastatic breast cancer diagnosis is 2 to 3 years.
Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself to get the best treatment possible. Your prognosis is just a statistic, and you are not a statistic. It's important to keep in mind that at any one time, there's always more right with you than there is wrong with you. One of the challenges that you have with this diagnosis is living with fear and uncertainty. But by embracing the uncertainty that you are faced with, it helps you to heal and feel alive. And by doing so, it helps others around us cope with their fears about the uncertainty of the illness. When I was first diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, it had a huge impact on my life because I had to give up my career as a family physician, which was so difficult for me. I was able, though, to do a lot of self-reflection about my identity. And so what I would recommend is that you not feel as though you've lost your identity. And similarly, you haven't become your cancer diagnosis.
Approximately 30% of those initially diagnosed with earlier stages of breast cancer later develop recurrent or metastatic disease. In recent years, treatments have continued to advance and therefore change the face of the disease, providing women with the opportunity to create more memories, share their wisdom and advice with family and friends.
When you have a metastatic breast cancer diagnosis, there's a wide range of treatments available depending which cancer type you have. And again, that's not standardized across Canada, depending what drugs get approved, what research is available, what clinical trials are available. A lot of the research focuses on early onset cancer and prevention of that. And a lot of the focus should be focused on metastatic breast cancer and how we can extend our lives with a high quality. If I was to meet someone who was initially diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, I'd say there's hope. There's a lot of research coming down. There's a lot of clinical trials available. There are many others diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer as well. And it's difficult for us to find each other because we're few and far between, and Canada's a large country. So an organization like Canadian Breast Cancer Network is a great place to look for resources and to find those connections. So the supports are there, but you may have to look for them.
There is a need to increase the visibility and voice of Canadians living with metastatic breast cancer. Newer treatments are extending the lives of patients, enabling them to enjoy their lives with family and friends. This is helping replace fear with hope, connection, and optimism. We need to continue to make treatments available for those who need them, regardless of where they live in Canada.
We should not allow this disease to take more away from us than it already has. We are still able to live fulfilling lives, regardless of the fact that we have cancer. My living legacy is my passion for life.
My living legacy is the love that I share with my son and daughter.
My living legacy is my son. What's yours? Share your legacy. We want to know who you are.
To learn more about metastatic breast cancer and to become part of the Living Legacy, visit the Canadian Breast Cancer Network website at www.cbcn.ca.